For some reason, I forgot to talk about this scene from Toad to Redemption in the last video.
Hey, shouldn't we get Frobo and Marcy in on this?
No can do. Marcy said she was gonna study Frobo all day today.
This clip is iconic to me because it contains the frame that I created this image. This is arguably one of my greatest creations ever. Anyway, season 3. Amphibia Season 3 is very fascinating. You may have noticed in the last 2 videos in this series, I didn't go that in depth with Season 1 and 2, but Season 3 is different. This is the one I have by far the most to say about. So let's begin with the new normal. This episode is great. I can still remember watching that opening scene that got released early over and over again, getting so hyped for the episode to release. And it absolutely lived up to that hype. This is really what the show needed. Keeping Anne and the planters in Amphibia after Andrea starts being all evil would have kind of been lame. Putting them on Earth introduces something new. The planters get hands-on experience with the world Anne has always told them about, and how that world would react to them. Keeping them away from the action helps to focus on the characters rather than the plot. That's not to say plot isn't important, because it obviously is, but Amphibia is an extremely character-driven show. It also just makes more sense pacing-wise. If Anne was in Amphibia, Andreas would have had a much easier time killing her, so we need this to realistically keep her and the planters away from him. And speaking of Andreas trying to kill Anne, I love Cloakbot! Cloakbot actually might be my favorite villain of the show. I think it's got something to do with its design. So sleek and elegant, yet sinister and deadly. Back to that scene everyone, including myself, was watching on repeat as we waited for this episode to come out. It's probably one of the best scenes in the show. Something I've never seen people talk about is how when we first see Mrs. Boonjoy, she's naturally very sad, implying that this has been her default mood ever since Anne disappeared. But as soon as she hears a knock at the door, you can hear in her voice that she's masking those feelings and trying to appear happier.
I'm coming.
I really love that little detail. Even though her mum had appeared in a few flashbacks before, this is our first time really seeing the relationship between all 3 of them, rather than just hearing about it. I really like the way Mr. and Mrs. B interact with the planters at first. Or more specifically Hopper, since he's been Anne's parental figure for all these months. It's a great way of showing not only Anne's growth, but how her parents really care about her. Realizing how important these weird frog people mean to Anne and wanting to see their daughter happy is the first stepping stone to them seeing that change in her, as it leads to all the other events that take place across the season. The new normal was the first time we got completely revamped credits. I really love it. I still prefer season 1's credits, I think, but season 3's are just so fun. And while it did play at the end of True Colors first, Pop to Your Drop was the first episode with the new theme song, and this is easily my favorite variation of it. The instrument choices are a big reason for that. I love the use of electric guitar. It's great at reflecting this season's more epic scale, but it keeps it from feeling generically epic like a big orchestra would. It still has that fun, upbeat feel Amphibia is all about. I don't have much to say about the episode itself. It's a nice way to show the planters in new situations. The thing I really like about it though, as well as Season 3A as a whole, are the background humans. They might actually be the funniest characters of the entire show. I love the acronym-obsessed security guard, that lady who seemingly breaks the 4th wall. Seriously, who is she talking to? And our main characters still get peak comedy.
Pop-Pop, why are you green?
None of this compares to Sprig's birthday, which has by far the funniest scene in the entire show to me. You all know what I'm talking about, we all love it. These humans are the funniest motherfuckers to ever exist.
I just don't know what to do. Should I quit my office job to pursue my passion of stand-up comedy?
Lord, send me a sign! Hey, have you guys heard the one about the lady who probably just made a really bad decision?
The only other episode to make me laugh this much is Turning Point.
Whoa, Nelly!
Present!
Shut up, Nelly.
It's not even an amazing joke or anything. It's really not that funny, but this somehow just completely fucking killed me on rewatch. As for Turning Point as a whole, well, I did tease this when talking about season 2, so I guess I have to talk about it now. It's no secret that I really don't like Sasha, but it wasn't until this rewatch that I fully realized my issue with her. My biggest issue with the character of Sasha Elizabeth Waybright is technically not even about her, it's Grime. Grime is such a baffling character to me. This is a show filled with manipulators. All three of the Calamity Trio are shown being manipulated by someone, which results in them doing bad things and then eventually standing up to them. Anne was always being manipulated by Sasha to doing things she didn't want to do. Marcy was manipulated by Andreas into hiding the truth about the music box from Anne and Sasha was manipulated by Grime into being a goddamn war criminal. He is the one who got her to stay at Toad Tower instead of searching for her friends. He is the one who wanted her to fake being nice to Anne and Marcy so they could overthrow the throne. He has been purely a negative to Sasha as a person. She was bad before, but he very clearly made her worse. She really needed to cut him off completely. It would have made her allying herself with Wartwood, who have been terrorized by the Toad armies forever, way more satisfying. Cutting off the person who made her an even worse friend and siding with the people that friend cares so much about. Grime could have stayed in the story and assisted with the resistance, but Sasha really shouldn't have stayed so friendly with him. This episode also has one of the dumbest lines in the show.
Then we'll have to go somewhere he doesn't expect.
What the fuck are you talking about? Wartwood would be like the first place Andreas would look. What are you talking about? And why did Anne leave so much stuff behind if she thought she was going home, including her journal? This episode just really surprised me. I know I just complained a bunch, but I genuinely really liked it. I never really disliked it, but ignoring some nitpicks and the big toad in the room, I now think it's really fucking good. I think Sasha's regret is actually well handled. She hates herself and treats herself like garbage, but she doesn't make herself out to be a victim. She gets annoyed with Wartwood at first, but not because of a dislike towards them, and she doesn't get all rude with anything like that. She feels real regret and puts in real effort to truly gain the town's trust. Most of the time, the two small episodes within a full episode don't have too much connecting them, so I really like how Thai Feud and Adventures in Cat Sitting both deal with a similar topic surrounding the relationship between the planters and the Boonchoys. I love that scene at the end of Adventures in Cat Sitting, both for being a really great and sweet moment of bonding, but also because it's one of the few times the show doesn't put Mr. Boonchoy through pain, something that's shockingly common.
Dang it! The backyard! Oh, the driver always gets left out of the group hug. Can you guys just imagine I'm there? Oh, my back!
My man cannot catch a break, and this compilation is still not over.
That's because you drive like an old man. Move over.
Another day, another adventure resolved with no loose ends.
And come on, when is this balloon ride supposed to be over? Do I smell cookies? I'm gonna need to be quick on the draw if I want to capture us. Oh my goodness! Gosh dang it! I will get the perfect holiday photo, or I will die trying! I'm sorry, Santa! Oh man, well that's definitely ruined.
I remember a lot of people hating these episodes back in 2021 for feeling like filler, and I kind of get it, but for the most part, I really don't agree. This is what Amphibia has always been. Wacky adventures with fun characters and great comedy. The only difference now is the setting. I'll never understand why people wanted the show to just be focused on Anne getting back to Amphibia. Like, are you telling me you would rather have a bunch of episodes all doing the same thing of Anne trying and failing to find a way back to Amphibia over and over stories like the planters learning about and experiencing Thai culture firsthand? A story that shows the ramifications of Anne's disappearance and the strength the community has. Getting back to Amphibia is still a huge focus of these episodes. Again, it's all about that community. Over the course of these episodes, we meet new characters who all come together in the end to get Anne and the Planters back. The only episodes I think we probably could have done without are Spider Sprig and Hollywood Hop Pop. I still think they're fun episodes and didn't deserve the hate, but I do think it would have been better if Spider Sprig was cut to make Olivia and Yunnan a full 22 minutes, and Hollywood Hop Pop got replaced from an episode focusing on Sasha and the Resistance. If you're still worked up about the supposed lack of plot, that was always very obviously there. What are you talking about? I feel like people only view plot as literal events and characters just doing things physically. A plot could be literally just a conversation. There is plot here. The plot is character growth. The plot is Anne's parents recognizing that their daughter has changed. You know, change. Like one of the most prominent themes of the entire show. How is this not plot? I'm not saying this next bit to criticize season 1, because I don't see it as a bad thing. But that was definitely far more episodic than season 3A, so I don't get why these episodes in particular got singled out. And again, how can I not love this season when it has Cloakbot? This dude is so cool. I love its dedication to its mission, making all those repairs to itself, which results in an even cooler design. And Terminator has some genuinely incredible action that blends together its original Amphibia bits and its new Earth bits. I really wish this wasn't its last appearance. It's so cool and 100 times better than just a bunch of generic robots. I've got a feeling this is probably going to be a hot take, but I genuinely like Cloakbot way more than Frobo. It's stealthy, it's slick, its design leads to great fight scenes, it has a really fun personality. I know technically we get some Cloakbots later in All In, but the fact that there's multiple of them together rather than just one robot alone, betrayed by the country he loves, means they have significantly less aura to them. Even if I wish Clokey stayed around more, giving us a three-way conflict between our heroes, Cloakbot and Mr. X, I do think the way he gets beaten is peak. Anne has already had to deal with it 3 other times, but she was always holding back, mainly because she was still trying to hold the truth about her situation from her parents. She's not able to defeat it until she actually opens up to her parents. She opens up and tells the truth about the real events that happened in Amphibia and how she's feeling about it. It's only when she's honest with herself and the people she loves that she is finally able to take out Cloakbot. Farewell, you beautiful bot. I will now honor you in the best way I know how. Welcome back to this really stupid series where I time how long it took cartoon characters to touch grass. Today, I'll be taking a look at Cloakbot from Amphibia. Here are the rules. Pause if you haven't seen all these videos before. Let's touch grass. Clokey is kind of fucked over by Andreas when it comes to grass touching, as it's forced to follow Anne, and despite her tying for first place with Frobo in my Amphibia grass touching video, she doesn't make it easy. The new normal brings it to a big shop with no grass. There is grass under these trees it knocks over, as can be seen in this earlier shot, but it's not clear if it's actually touching the grass or if it's just touching the trees. So the timer goes on. Fight at the museum forces it into another grassless building, and while the titular temple in Temple Frogs does have plenty of grass around it, Cloakbot was forced into sending some drones to fight for it due to all the damage it had suffered. But then comes Anne's Terminator, and with the imminent threat of self-destruction, Cloakbot says, fuck it, I'm not being subtle anymore. Next time it's seen, it's smashed down in the Boontroy's front yard, touching dirt and grass, granting my beloved Clokey a grass touching time of 9 minutes and 50 seconds. Anyway, here's the updated Amphibia grass touching leaderboard, as well as the full grass touching leaderboard now, yada yada yada, RuPaul is here now. Even if my beloved Cloakbot is gone, Mr. X is still fun as hell. He probably has my favorite animation of any of the human characters. He's even more sleek and smooth than Clokey. And he is superior to Cloakbot in one way. He's got Peridot as a sidekick. Seriously, look at Jenny and tell me they aren't just human Peridot. Alright, I've kind of reached the point where I just need to talk about a bunch of things together because I don't know how to properly flow between my points in a way that lets me structure this video the way I want. So, Ali and Jess are awesome, they're cool and gay, and I love their robot autism.
20 minutes of trailers, and you people call yourselves civilized.
Shut up, Hop Pop! The ads are a vital part of the cinema experience. I take pride in the fact that I can recite the Oscar Williams ad word for word every time I go to see a movie. The ending to Sprig's birthday is so cute. I love these two. I'm a huge cat person, so naturally I find Domino to be dangerously adorable. If You Give a Frog a Cookie is peak for two reasons. One, because Terry is voiced by Kate Masucci, so that means I can reference Sadie, which means I can reference Lars. Fuck you. And two, because of this shot. Okay, I'll get to Froggy Little Christmas soon, but first I need to discuss this iconic fan theory. That being the theory that Gravity Falls, Amphibia, and the Owl House all take place in the same universe. So obviously we have Dr. Frakes opening a portal to the Boiling Isles, but also Bill Cipher appears in the book where Marcy learned about the Calamity Box, a book written by Dr. P. I've seen many people say this could be Dipper, who would be about 20 now, but it could still just be Stanford. Wax Museum does kind of make this all pretty meta, but it doesn't disprove the idea of Gravity Falls being on this Earth. One of the journals appears in Trip to the Archives, which may seem to disprove this theory, as we see the journals get destroyed. But if you buy the official Journal 3 book, you'll know that after Weird-Mageddon, Seuss found the journals out in the woods, fully restored, and after a few more entries from Dipper and Ford, Ford says they will be tossing them into the bottomless pit, which doesn't always toss things back out like in the episode. Ford even theorizes the possibility of them ending up in another dimension. Weird-Mageddon not affecting how people view these insane events also makes perfect sense, since the town basically gaslit everyone into thinking nothing ever happened. Then there's the newspaper at the end of King's Tide, calling Anne's story a hoax. Well, 10 years later, they're still saying the same thing in Amphibia.
The event we've come to know as Frogvasion. But the real question remains, was it all a hoax?
The events of All In would have happened in early 2020, so it makes perfect sense for Camila, later that year, to come across that story when doing research into how to get her daughter back from another dimension. There's also so much evidence that Ida was Stan's ex-wife, but that's not really connected to Amphibia, and this tangent has already gone on long enough. So in summary, these shows all take place within the same universe, or at least their Earths do, and you will never convince me otherwise. Alright, it's time to talk about the best episode of the show, Froggy Little Christmas. Despite this being my favorite episode of the show, I don't really have that much to say about it. That's because my reasoning behind loving it so much is quite simple. It's incredibly heartwarming. I talked about the themes of community coming back in Escape to Amphibia, but this episode is probably an even better payoff to that build-up. Yeah, we don't get all the characters back, but I love seeing this small community Anne and the Planters have built up over the last few episodes coming together to make the Thai Go float. It has a lot of emotional weight due to it being the thing that Mrs. Boonchoy had always wanted, but it's a lot more than just her finally achieving the dream that she's had ever since immigrating to the US, of participating in this community event. It's about that community being there for her. Making this a Christmas episode also helps to tie in with those themes. The festive period means many different things for many different people. We get that with all the various explanations given to the Planters about what this holiday is all about. But if one word could truly describe what this special time of year is all about, it would be community, spending time with the people you care about. I do wish we actually got to see Anne give her mum Pearl's butterfly instead of Andreas being a loser and showing up and ruining everything, but like I said before, this doesn't take away from the emotion of Hopping Mall's ending. Like Anne says at the end of the episode, Christmas is about the people, not the presents. I will also always adore this episode for being the first time I would hear a Rebecca Sugar song. Our special time of year is really sweet and also genuinely really funny.
A bucket of fried chicken, a costume for your dad, a demon who will stuff you in a sack if you've been bad.
The fact that these lyrics are sung so normally is just hysterical. Escape to Amphibia is another episode I really like. I used to consider it my second favorite episode of the show, and I still do really like it. It's still very fun, and I love seeing all these characters working together, but I unfortunately don't find it that amazing anymore. My biggest issue with it is the way it treats Anne leaving her parents behind. The way the episode is set up, it feels like the episode Handy Anne, but in reverse. It feels like it's going in the direction that her parents will be coming with her, which makes sense given previous episodes like Anne's Terminator and especially Mr. X, which shows how competent they are in a dangerous situation. I also really don't like that Anne just goes back to her school uniform. Not only does it just not make any sense at all, like girl, you're going to be getting in fights, why would you wear a skirt instead of your shorts? But it also feels wrong on a thematic level. Anne's school uniform was a really great part of her design because it represented how she was always being told what to do. But after all the growth she's gone through and she got back to Earth, she was able to finally wear the clothes that she wanted to wear. But now she's just going back to what she was wearing before. Her regressing back to this old outfit really doesn't fit in with the show's themes of change. Obviously it makes sense to keep her armor, but this really should have been her design for Season 3B. Despite those issues, I still really like this episode. It's still really fun to see all these characters working together. I especially love Terry and Dr. Jan, and the ending confrontation with Mr. X is just so cool. Back when I first saw this, it got me so hyped for what was to come next. To me, Amphibia was at its peak during Season 3A. I did call Season 1 the peak, but that was referring to the entire season, and I feel Season 3A on its own is superior to Season 1. But taking a look at Season 3 as a whole, well...